This is Chief, the one and a half of Chief and Stereo of the Let's Talk podcast. Today, I just like to just reflect on Malcolm Jamal Warner, aka Theo Huxtable of the Cosby Show of the 1980s and early 1990s. It's so sad what had happened to him on July 25th, in which he and his family was in Costa Rica vacationing, and he and his daughter got caught up in a riptide, which was pulling them out to sea, and fortunately they were rescued by lifeguards and surfers, but fortunately he passed away. He was pronounced dead of accidental drowning, but his daughter was saved, his 8-year-old daughter. Now, in terms of his death, um, it was a shock to everyone because you know a lot of people grew up watching the Cosby Show and watching Theo go through his struggles of becoming a teenager, from adolescent to teenager, and becoming a man. And he struggled living with four other sisters and him being the only boy in the house, struggling for attention and what have you. And you know the sisters, um, I would say they were always bickering and battling each other for attention with their parents or whatever it is. And Theo, he struggled with dyslexia, and in which he also had a lot of issues in school in terms of learning disability until he was finally diagnosed with dyslexia. In any case, he eventually got the help he needed, in which he was able to progress in school and eventually becoming a teacher at a center and so forth, and also going on to college. Now, mind you, the Cosby Show was like monumental. When I say monumental, it was like before prior, there wasn't any show on TV that reflected any positiveness when it comes to the black family. We had shows that reflected the struggling black family on welfare and racism. Say for instance, the Jeffersons. They always had issues with racism on the show, even when he was also the neighbor of Archie Bunker, and All in the Family. It was a struggle with racism. Good Times, for instance, had a struggle with not having any money in the family, living in the projects, and food stamps and welfare and so forth. So, but the Cosby Show it broke the mold in terms of showing the positiveness and professionalism of upper middle class or middle class black family, in which the Huxtables, Bill Cosby was a gynecologist, OBGYN, and his wife, she was a lawyer. So it showed that black family can be successful and raise successful kids. Now, mind you, in terms of what how I used to perceive um, Black Americans, African Americans, prior to coming to the United States, prior to migrating. All I saw on television in Jamaica was, you know, African Americans being pimps and pulling out switchblades and cutting people across the face, and well, basically the black exploitation era. That's all I knew of about African American or black folks in America. I never used to see anything positive per se while watching TV in Jamaica, on American movies, and even on the news. So with me coming to the United States and I seen a program like that, it really put me in a different perspective and realize, hey, of course, there's a lot of black professional families out there, and they're able to achieve a lot and also teach your kids well and hand down a lot of what they know as professional and as parents and as family to their kids, and in terms of uh, that um, type of environment, nurturing, you know, that I was able to use that um, type of rearing, you know, to with my own family. I was able to use that and utilize that with my own family per se. So it was just a sad situation to hearing about this, and um, you know, I just can't imagine what his daughter was going through when they were rescuing him and giving him CPR, and it must have been like traumatic to her. And also, he was also a part of a band which was very popular in Atlanta, Georgia. He won a Grammys for his spoken poetry and his music. He was part of the band and he played the bass and a couple of instruments. So he was a consummate artist, whether it's acting, right? In the Cosby Show, he also played a doctor on television. Malcolm and Eddie, a sitcom. You know, him being on stage with his band, entertaining. He was always active. He's always active, and he also stated that if he go out and he dies, if he dies, he want to know that he did good on earth. In other words, there was no one that could point their finger that this guy has done bad in this world. So I know that it's possibly he will have like a big turnout if they decide to keep a public funeral for him. Um, it's up to his family if they want to keep a small, intimate funeral for him or setting. But I think that a lot of people that was influenced by the Cosby Show um, will show up and to give their support and what have you. I definitely, every time I think about it, it's just so sad because I grew up watching them. They made me laugh. You know, every time I watch that show, to present day, I'm constantly laughing because it was good family humor, good family fun. Is a lot of learning and teaching, a lot of learning lesson, a lot of teaching. Um, they were both compassionate when it comes to their kids. They didn't coddle them. They also let them know that what you're doing is wrong. This is the best way to go about doing it. They also let them, um, you know, they get into trouble. They steer them right, right. They let them know what is out there in the world and what to expect, right, and how to navigate your way out of, certain circumstances, certain issues, right? And they let them go out there and they mess up, and they let them know, hey, this is what happens when you mess up, and this is how you go about, um, correcting what you have done to remedy the situation. So, and in perspective, um, I believe that it not only influenced me, the Cosby Show, and Theo and so forth, with also me being the only boy living in a household of four girls. That was crazy on my part as well because I felt for him because he was always like the sisters, with each other and back and forth or whatever it is, and I used to get special attention because I'm the only boy from my I used to get attention from my mother, right? Because I'm the only boy, mama's boy. So there was a little bit more. I wouldn't say animosity, a little jealousness on the part of my sisters per se. All right, so Sterry and I will discuss this at a further date if and when they announce his funeral and update you guys. I also want to thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing our content, and we will appreciate you. Thank you.